Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of our high level masterclass. If you are new to our world, maybe you've seen a ton of different virtual events happening. Masterclass is really special because we bring in really, really smart people to teach us something very, very specific. And I want to introduce you to Marla and Melissa. Melissa and I have done workshops together. Marla is a pretty big name in our community. A lot of people know her. She's a popular figure, if you ask me. But I want you to know that this is a visionary team behind what the business is called HL Rocket. Marla and Melissa, they both have their white label businesses behind the scenes, but they put together High Level Rocket or HL Rocket to help fellow high levelers, SaaSpreneurs, and experts alike with different things. So, with this masterclass, what we're going to teach is fundamental basics of onboarding, whether you're doing client onboarding, student onboarding, maybe even an influencer onboarding to a segment of some kind that you're recording. It doesn't matter. There's some fundamental things that you want to pay attention to. And as you're watching this, we're going to have collaterals for you. They have a community they want to tell you about. There's snapshots. There's all kinds of cool things. But without any further ado, Melissa, do you mind doing an introduction to HO Rocket and how y'all got together? This is a new story for a lot of folks
It
in high
is.
level that doesn't know you yet. But tell us about the story behind HighLevel Rocket.
Yeah. For those that knew me or know me, my daughter and I worked together for quite a long while until Beyonce stole her from me. I keep saying, I sold my daughter to a handsome Indian man. How did I do that? She built out the academy for high level. Beyond has it as part of his team now and has her as part of his team. And so through the years, have gotten to know Marla because we started at high level about the same time. It was 2019. And we were, of course, one of the few women in the very beginning. And so we got to know each other, like each other, and we started hanging out, going to masterminds, traveling together. We've been to Costa Rica. We fit, like mentally, we fit. And I love the sales and marketing end of the business. She loves the build end and the complicated, the workflows, all that. I mean, we both can do both sides, but we decided with HL Rocket we were going to kind of split it up. And so she's won numerous awards with high level. We've won numerous awards. And so we decided, so many people kept coming up to us all the time and saying, how did you guys do this? How did you, all that? And so we decided to partner up with HL Rocket and help other people do this. You want
I
anything,
love
add
it.
anything, Marla?
I love it. Yeah, Marla, tell us what you think truly of Melissa here.
Oh, here we go. No, Melissa's amazing. Like our friendship, or we were colleagues, then friends, then business partners, and it's
And now
always
she's family. They all call,
yeah.
all my kids call her Aunt Marla.
Right. But it's been a super easy transition. Like I would love if everyone's partnership was as smooth and easy, and we just complement each other and we think alike in terms of business and strategy. So it's just been a very natural process for us to go through and start to help other high levelers and give back to the community and be able to help bring other people along in the same way that we've had the pleasure of working with other people in the high level community through the
Yeah.
years.
I
Yeah.
love it. So if you're watching this, I got a chance to chat with Melissa specifically to kind of plan out this master class. And the overarching theme that we both kind of ended on was like onboarding is a really big pain point for a lot of high levelers, whether you're doing high volume, whether you're doing high ticket, it doesn't really matter. There is a system, there is a process to taking a stranger and plugging them into your business at the end of the day and providing exceptional service. And here at High Level, we take a lot of pride in customer success and experience, and we're constantly renewing our items and processes in between. And it's cool to see ecosystems around High Level kind of doing the same thing. So, Melissa, can you give us the agenda for the master class? What are they going to learn if they sit the next 45 to an hour sitting here watching this whole thing? What can they expect from the master class today?
Well, you're going to learn everything we did wrong. Because we've been doing this 5 years now, and we have tried every way we can think of. And then, of course, we've bought every snapshot everybody's ever sold. So then we look and see, okay, how did they do that, and we just wanted to make it more streamlined and easier for us as the agency owner, but also for the person going through the process. And so we kept finding all the wrong ways to do it until we stumbled on what we're going to show you today, which is using the course builder or the membership tool to facilitate your onboarding. And it just streamlined it, made it simpler for us, made it simpler for them. One of the ways that we did it that we thought was going to work very well was to build a funnel where every page was the next thing that we wanted them to work on. That didn't work. They'd go to that page, they'd do the thing, but then they didn't know where to go back to the next thing they got to do. And then emails and text messages flying. And it just ended up always being messy. And that's the opposite of what we want to do. So today we're going to show you how to make it easier.
I love that.
And you're
And
going to get a
today's
snapshot. You're going to get our community, which means, and it's free. So you can all, come and learn and some handouts and the whole bit. Yeah.
I love it. So today's masterclass is called the Streamlined Onboarding Process. And obviously, that could be applied in many facets. There's a lot of context behind it. So take it with a grain of salt. So if you both want to share your screen or one of you want to share your screen, you have the
I'll
freedom to do
start.
that now. And let's keep our conversations organized, and it'll allow us to kind of move forward with, with the maximum amount of impact here. So first of all, I think Melissa, you're sharing. There is a description link here that is made available to you as we're streaming today, where you can jump into a 297 30-day trial if you want to, and you're watching this around the fence. Melissa, can you speak to the folks that are not on HighLevel yet? They're just watching from far. They're on the fence. They hear all the hype about HighLevel. They're like, it seems complicated and sophisticated. I can't make the jump. But can you talk to the folks that are just like on the sidelines about HighLevel?
Well, I think anybody watching would know that we're pretty hyped up on HighLevel. I also have a son that runs our tech support team. So it's truly become a family business with Marla being part of the family. It's changed our lives. Marla, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there's a lot of different types of people in the community, whether you are a small business owner, a large business owner. We've literally helped the number, well, I'll just say one of the top five roofing companies in the entire United States build out their entire lead and sales journey. So I mean, it doesn't matter where you are in your business or if you're an agency. I personally think HighLevel is the way to not only build, but to automate and scale your business. So I encourage, if you are not and you're on the fence, get in the boat. Don't wait, get in the boat, because this is how you can really move your business forward.
I love it. And we're logged into HighLevel now, right? So can you
We are.
maximize that browser if you don't mind? So that way we can see the entire thing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So tell us what we got for today on the masterclass.
So today we're going to go through our snapshot and show you this particular sub account we're in is the snapshot account. So you're going to get all of these resources. And the thing I wanted to show you here is we're building it in the membership course builder. So, and if I go to this one now, oh, not that one, this one. So if I open this one up, it's going to open up. Why is it not opening? All right, I'll go here. So once you open up the master or the course, the high-level course masterclass, you've got 5 lessons. And so what we're decided to do is, instead of using, like I said, the funnel builder and doing pages that people get lost, we're doing it as a course. So the first thing that they're wanting to do is go in, and this would be your welcome message. And no, you can add a video, you can add a handout, you can add all kinds of different things to make this more interactive. It depends on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. The second thing would be to sign the terms and conditions. For those of you in HighLevel, you'll recognize this is either a form or a survey. And within that form or survey, we are putting our terms and conditions, and they can come down and sign it. And it's right here. We don't send them on a link to go sign it somewhere else, because then they don't know how to get back here. So then we go to customize your account. This is just the way that we do it. You can do it completely different. We're going to talk about that. This is where you're going to ask the questions that you need the answers to. Where's your domain? What area code do you want to use for your phone number? What's your business registration? Upload your EIN so we can do your A2P. Whatever it might be that you are onboarding someone for, you're going to have to collect some information. Again, we're just taking that information, or we're just taking that form and putting it in here. Then we have an email setup form, because we either are going to do Lead Connector or Mailgun or one of the other ones. We need to get the information from them. Again, it's a lot of information collecting. And then book your onboarding call. And that's the last step for us. And of course, we just put the calendar in. And so what we're doing with this is we're very quickly, easily taking them through the process where we know that we have to gather that information before we can set up their account. This is simple and easy. Else was I gonna hit? It's less work for us. It's consistent delivery of information. You can easily track. Marla will show you with the pipeline
Snapshot.
how you can track where people are, and then it makes it easy to scale it. So what you want to think about with your business, why is it not showing us that details? There we go. You want to think, what are your steps? Or in this case, what steps do you need to take them through? Remember, this is your opportunity to orchestrate an experience you want them to go through. We've just done the basics here. Like I said, you can add videos, you can add FAQs, you can add your team, you can do anything you want to make this process easy for them
So to take a step back for a quick second, here's what I'm understanding, Melissa. Let's say a transaction happened, right? They pay you, I don't know, $1,000 or $2 or $10,000. It doesn't matter. The transaction is finalized, it's verified, billing is done. There's money in the account, right? As soon as that happens, you're sending out either some sort of communication, whether through email, text, or both, or a phone call, or all of it, and telling them, hey, we're ready to do an orientation for you or of some kind. And first thing you're doing is having them log into the course.
Yep, we grant them access to the course. It sends the email, gets them in there, and then they just have to go through this process.
Got it. So when they log into the course, they're going to view what you're showing on the screen right now, and that could be customized and designed based on whatever small business you have, or if you have a high-level business or marketing business or whatever, there is a way to go about it. Your snapshot will include some of these steps, is what you're saying as well. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Just remember that you're going to make it yours. So sometimes you want to ignore some of our stuff.
Got it. Got it. So
and
is
make
this
it yours.
So is this complementary to a live experience? Do you get them on a Zoom afterwards anyway,
Yep.
or is this replacing it? What's the psychology behind it?
For us, once we get all the information, we can then go in and customize, set up their account, customize it, get everything ready so that we can take them through our actual in-person Zoom onboarding.
Got it. Okay. And what's the timeline? So let's say Wednesday at 12 o'clock, they bought. How soon do they get these messages?
Can
And when
can I
is
speak to that?
typically? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. So with this process, this can absolutely be tailored in your calendar, whether or not you complete your onboarding first and you ask all of these questions up front and you do essentially a full build out. Like my agency, we do a full build out. And so you might want to have your onboarding in 5 days or 3 days or however many days it takes for your agency to comfortably be able to complete the onboarding process, a custom white glove experience, and then you have them on a call. So you would edit that in your calendar settings. But if they are going to be doing a lot of their build themselves, if you're more of a DIY style agency where they need to be involved or you're going to do it together, then you could make that to where maybe they can book in the afternoon or even tomorrow. And so the experience in this calendar setting is going to be unique to your agency and the
Yeah.
type of onboarding that you're doing.
Yeah, so there's three types of models there, right? There is the do-it-yourself model or the DIY. There's the done-with-you model, which is more of a consultative model, and there's the done-for-you model, which is more of an agency model, right? So each one of these models will have variations in how you're onboarding, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And I think that you setting the expectations in the early stages when you go in, you're going to get this snapshot, you're going to get all of these different modules here in the membership area. And so you're just going to tweak the language a little bit. Maybe you have an onboarding video that you upload to set the tone for what your user is going to expect. And so then it becomes a completely custom experience, but you're going to have this full, access to all of this course and the different sections here that you can edit.
Love it.
You want to take over now, Marla? I think you're set up for
Sure. Yeah,
showing how to
that's actually
customize it.
a good, I'll just kind of
Yeah, that's perfect.
parlay from there. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay. So basically, this is what it's going to look like for you and the different things that you as a user are going to be looking at. So you're going to come in and you're going to come in here and you're going to click on this. Let's go ahead and
Yep. And when you just real quick, Marla,
yep.
when you say you, who's you? Am I
You
the
is
customer
whoever is
of the
installing.
customer?
Sorry, no, this is whoever you as the agency owner, you as a small business implementing this snapshot. So you're
Okay.
going to install the snapshot and then you're going to come in here and you're going to edit this to make it your own.
And you're making this experience for your end customer, not for yourself.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Okay, got it.
Whoever you as the agency owner or the small business who is coming in and setting up the onboarding experience, they need to be tailoring this to their end user.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, thanks for the
All right,
clarity
so we're
there.
going to come in here and it's going to look like this. And these are the different modules that you're going to go through to tailor the look. They're going to click on these details. And this is where you can come in. You can change the title of your onboarding. You can change the image out, add any customizations that you want in through here. But let's go ahead and head back over to the outline. So through here, you're going to come in and you are going to do the same thing, right? You can add or upload a video. Remember, we talked about that just a minute ago. So if you want to set the tone and the stage of what their onboarding experience is going to look like, what it's going to look like to work with your company or your agency, you can upload a video here and swap out this image. HighLevel gives us the dimensions of the image. So you just create an image right there. You could, just take this one, modify it, slap your logo over it. We don't care. But you're going to make any of your category changes and then of course edit this information. And then when you're done, you're going to hit save. And then you're going to go through each of these little modules and make edits to it. So again, there's that terms and conditions that you can edit. And I'm going to show you in a minute where to go and edit the forms and the surveys. So easy little segue into that here in just a minute. But again, just edit this information here on each of these modules, right? And then so I'm not going to go through each one of these and just kind of belabor it unless you have a question about it, Paulson. But down here at the bottom, we do have the calendar, right? And so this is just an embedded calendar in here. And so you can then embed your calendar in here as well. One thing I do want to point out is that anyone who is using a form, a survey, adding anything, you're going to want to make sure that you add this little snippet of code, right? And if you are changing anything out, you're going to just make sure that you edit that little snippet of code to make sure that it has the correct link to whatever it is that you are putting iframing here in your section. So
which the forms, the surveys, and the calendars all give you the embed code. You just need to add this style code, because if you don't, the whole form or calendar doesn't show up. So we're just giving you a little cheat sheet there.
Yeah, maybe we can throw that into the comments for the streaming whenever you get a chance.
It also is in the details of the snapshot. So we'll no questions about where to do it, what to do, anything like that.
Perfect.
So the only other things that I do want to make sure that we point out is, so we've got surveys, we've got forms, and we've got pipelines. So you're going to access those by going to sites, forms, or surveys. And then they're going to be inside of a folder, nice and neat and organized for you. So you've got the onboarding email setup form and the onboarding terms and conditions. And those are the forms that are plugged in. If you've got some different forms that you want to use, you can plug them in over in the onboarding membership if you want to do that. Or again, you can come in here and you can say, you know what, let's go ahead and edit the terms and conditions. And so this is where you can literally click on and edit any of this information, change your title out, and change out your terms and conditions, any of this, and you're off to the races. You can even style, of course, if you guys know, you've got some styling and theme options over here to make it your own if you want to do that, change out fonts, etc.
And also, you have to also remember as a service provider that some of your customers may go through this course on their phones, on their mobile view, right? So you want to also look at the mobile side and make sure it's branded right, the sizing is right, which is different than the desktop and stuff like that. And sometimes you may have to just get them to download the apps sometimes as well to just give them an easier access experience, right?
Yep, great point. Great point. So again, we talked about the surveys, we've got the forms, and then we've also got the pipeline. And so the pipeline is here. You can obviously change the titles of any of these pipeline stages by going to pipelines. Again, we're in opportunities pipeline, and then you can edit and make any modifications to those pipeline stages that represent your brand a little bit more if you want to do that. And that's pretty much it. It's a really great experience to be able to bring your clients through this little journey and have it customized for them. And so one of the main things or the problems that it solves is when you have funnels, people can be the third step in the funnel and they, something happens in their, the baby cries, the phone rings, they get pulled away, and it becomes where they can't find their way back to that process, or maybe they didn't hit save, or that, whatever the things are. And so this puts it into one location and they can easily see, and they can refer back to one email to be able to regain access. So that's pretty much the problems that it solved for us.
I love that. So when it comes to streamlined onboarding, it seems like it's a good idea to have a pre-built automated membership area that allows you to send out information that helps you collect information from your customers. So let's talk about I guess, some of the challenging components, right? What happens when they don't fill out the form? What happens when they're like, I can't find the email? What happens when they're like, well, my nephew has a login and I don't know where my computer is? Like, let's just talk about the customers that are not easy to work with for a second.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it's still called stale opportunities, but we called it stale opportunities from the beginning. And that's where you set up a workflow that says, if you think about that pipeline, I'm going to pull that pipeline up again. We use this all the time for so many things. Pipeline opportunities. Okay, so we've got purchase. So the minute they make a payment, boom, their name drops in here because we have a workflow that tells it to. And then then they're here until they finish signing their terms and conditions. Again, the workflow says if they sign the terms and conditions, move them to this stage of the pipeline. So let's say, and we've all had these 2 a.m. things like, oh, Paulson, I totally forgot Paulson bought. Where is he? What happened? Oh my God, what's going on? I can come here and see, oh, he's been sitting here in terms and conditions for 2 days and he hasn't filled in his terms and conditions. So a stale opportunity is a workflow that says if Paulson sits here for X number of days and you determine X or number of time, then please send him a text saying, Paulson, looks like we haven't gotten your T's and C's signed yet. Here's the link to go to that page to do that. So then we get him back on track again. Now Paulson sits here in the new account for 2 days. He's going to keep getting reminded every 2 days or every however time I've determined. And that gives him time to go get that information that he's got from his sister's daughter's son's boyfriend or whatever. And again, it's going to keep nagging him because I don't want to nag him. I don't remember to nag him. So he will continue on all these situations where we need him to take action and he hasn't yet. Boom, we use a stale opportunity.
Got it. So it's a built-in fail-safe system that allows people to just get messages as they're trickling through the ecosystem. So how long does it take on average for somebody to go through the onboarding process with this type of a setup?
I would say
10 minutes.
like for me, it's what I see is it's so varied and it depends on what you as an agency are asking from them.
Yeah.
Because like I use it for services, so it could be, like we have, an ad agency and we've got, different types of services that are being provided. And I think a lot of times it depends on how many logins you may be asking them for in your onboarding process. If it's a very simple process, they're going to fill it out super fast. And a lot of times, even some of those people will fill it out super fast, even in that more complex. And a lot of, so sometimes it depends on how techie the person is and how organized the person is that's completing that onboarding. But I've had some people where it can take multiple days because they are unorganized. Maybe they're not mentally prepared, or they don't
know where their EIN number is.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to completely depend on the individual that's completing that and the services that you're having them, what you're onboarding.
Love it. So what else do we need to learn about streamlined onboarding processes?
So we're going to want to look at another place that we're going to want to look is analytics. So you can go in and you can see who's going through what. So Paulson, if you were in here to have your email, where you are, your start date, and your last login. If I need to look into there, it can tell me, have you even logged in yet? Have you, we can tell quickly who's moving, who's not.
I think that's a big advantage versus funnels. Funnels is really just visitations versus the membership gives you activities. And even I I don't know if it's already out yet, but there are analytics being built out if it's not available, where it tells you the percentage of videos watched, and then you
Yes.
can
Yeah,
create
we want that.
automations around it. Yeah. So like if somebody watched 70% of one of the videos, you will be eventually, from what I understand, be able to create workflows off of that percentage.
Absolutely. And and
So
tie that into their score, right? And so you can start to score them based on activities.
very cool.
Assessments. Yeah. This
Interesting.
just keeps getting better and better. I mean,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what happens in the live onboarding? Like, so let's say they go through this, or can we ever get to a world where we just completely eliminate the live onboarding, or is this still a complementary to the live onboarding where they jump on a Zoom and you're reviewing things they have submitted or ask questions
So
like, what is
on
the
my
That's a great
customer
question.
experience?
on my SaaS, there's no onboarding.
Yeah.
But on my service, there is, right? So it depends on how much documentation is
Yeah.
needed, and if it's a high ticket, you probably there's probably some touch points in that process. But on SaaS only, it's setting expectations, and you can do that a lot of times with those videos that we talked about.
Yeah.
And so generally, I have no communication with my SaaS in terms of onboarding, offboarding, no demo, generally speaking, unless it's associated with a higher ticket product. And because we do a lot of higher ticket service type things. So in
Yeah.
that regard, I want to have an offboarding. We do AI, so that sometimes where we will set expectations about AI
Mhm.
and what that process looks like. But because lead generation plus AI equals onboarding, setting those
Yeah.
expectations. However, I do anticipate though that could eventually, if you wanted to not have it and you just wanted to set the expectation with videos, you absolutely could. But on those higher ticket touch points, I like to, bring them in. I feel like it's a good retention point on those higher ticket products. So that's just my experience. I don't know, Melissa, what do you think?
I we started our white label agency as a DIY focus. I made the mistake of thinking, well, I DIY, so I assume everybody DIYs. Well, no, that's not the case. So we still do an onboarding with them, and then we help them on that actual call. We show them where to get help. We help them set up their first calendar. We just do some of that. Now, another option is to go to a company like Extendly and have them white label the onboarding process. You have a lot of options. You just want to make sure that they're going to onboard the way you want them to onboard, and they're really good at that. So
Mm-hmm.
very experienced that way. So again, we want to make this as flexible as possible for all the different uses. Once you understand the concept of putting it all into kind of a course, your mind can go crazy with all the things that you can build.
Yeah, and I think on that note, I should probably put a little, an asterisk around the fact that I don't do an onboarding for SaaS, and that's because I do a white glove on onboarding for clients. So I literally build the entire model, and then they get kind of the offboarding videos and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not that they are not being cared for or anything like
Oh,
that. We
no.
absolutely
And
are.
I've said it a million times. Hindsight is 2020. I would go back and do it the way Marla does it now versus what I had done. Um, because a lot of people don't want to DIY it. But we
Mhm.
also now with HL Rocket have the ability to build it out for them.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So for those of that are watching this masterclass and they don't understand what you mean by SaaS, can you briefly give us some notes on SaaS versus service and what are the pros and cons on both?
Mm. Yeah.
SaaS is you sell the high level software as a white label. Both Marla and I have our own SaaS. Mine is Cultivating Sales. We work with coaches and consultants. And what you'll see is we have sub-accounts underneath us. So these are all my clients. And so they all have accounts in my Cultivating Sales white label software as a service. I'm selling HighLevel software as a service. And so that's what we've got there. Marla.
But you keep 100% of the revenue, right?
Mhm.
Right?
I
That's
kept saying when
the
I first met Sean, I'm like, you're telling me that you sell it to me at this price and I can have as many clients as I want? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that just sounds bizarre. And we keep waiting for it to change and it hasn't. And it's been 5 years. It's a hell of an opportunity.
Yeah. And so for me, SaaS has been, it's been about taking HighLevel and creating extreme value for my clients. If you are for me, I'm very niched in my SaaS, and so I know exactly the success formula that a business in my industry needs to go through. And so I have literally built out everything they need, and then I also have extra features that are built in and different software that I've incorporated and, third party access to different things. And so it really, you can almost like creating a business in a box for a small business that is in your industry, or industries, if you have multiple verticals. So you absolutely could do that as well. But
yeah.
SaaS versus service is like, for me, like I said, I have a full agency. So providing those services for, whether that's lead generation or AI or different things that allow businesses to,
Yeah.
use the experience to the
Yeah.
highest abilities.
Absolutely. And I think the key component that a lot of people miss is we want everyone on SaaS to function like a software company, meaning like
Mhm.
maybe $100, $200, $300. I mean, if you're like Andy a day, maybe charge like $800 a month on a smaller recurring revenue subscription that doesn't require a lot of manpower and a lot of hours, a lot of customization. That's the beauty of true SaaS. Obviously, you have SWAS and hybrid and all this different stuff, but
Everybody's
the
doing it
in
their
a
way.
different their way. But I think the key is to remember you're reaping the benefits of the software business model, even if you don't have to. Now, what that does for the agency or the marketing service provider is it eliminates the volatility of fast and feast and famine and feast and famine.
Mhm.
The volatility of having to go do sales and having to go do more sales while clients cancel on you because typically 3-4 months down the line, most customers cancel often with marketing only, right? Unless you provide exceptional service and you're adding value consistently, a lot of people deal with churn. So, and then agency services, obviously, you keep it going as you need and as you have passion for it. So either one needs a streamlined onboarding process, which is quite a bit of what we talked about. What else do we need to learn about onboarding processes from what you both understand? Probably dealing with hundreds of onboardings at this point between y'all two.
Um, setting expectation for the user, right? The user that's coming into your world. If you let them know at the beginning of your onboarding process what they're going to be doing, any documents that they're going to need to prepare, go ahead and collect your EIN, collect your domain login, collect your X, Y, and Z. So that way they're not getting through each step and having to, run over to their office to grab this or that, right? So set the expectations early on what your agency requires. And then through that process, they are ready to roll. But I would say also at the end of it, let them know what the next steps are going to be. Like, what is the timeline or the time frame of what you're going to be doing or what they're going to need to do. So that onboarding process is really about setting their expectations as much for them as it is for you, because you're going to save yourself a lot of headaches. You're going to save them a lot of headaches, and it's going to go a whole lot smoother.
I love that. Melissa, you want to add to that?
No.
So maybe one thing that we should address is how your team members take over the onboarding process or they monitor the onboarding process. Because as entrepreneurs that start the business, it's not how it's really scaled, right? You have multiple hats people are wearing. You have people that are working remote. You have people that are working in person. Help us understand how both of you got your teams involved or you're currently getting your teams involved.
Yeah, best thing I ever did was hire my daughter when I realized I was handling 70 clients all by myself before she came. And it was because of COVID that she came home and I gave her work to do. And that's when my entire world shifted. I'm a worker bee and I got to break that habit. Um, and I have, because now we have a team that does everything. And the last few days since you asked me to do this masterclass, I've been building it all out. And the reason it's important to do that is things have changed, things have moved. It's important to stay up on it and do the work every once in a while, I think.
Yeah.
Because now I felt much more confident. We built a community that we're going to ask you to join and the whole bit, because we use this stuff every single day and we hadn't built a community yet. And there
Wow.
isn't anything yeah, you have. I hadn't yet. So what's great about Marla and I is you've got two people who have done all this in different ways. And so you're learning from both of us and all of our experience in the past and everything. But our team knows how to go in and look at smart lists. They know how to look at pipelines. They know how to do all this every day. And it changed our lives because then we can focus. It's just like automation changes your life. We tell people all the time, automate the stuff that is boring and mundane. And I used to be in robotics, in the manufacturing world in robotics, and we would give the robots all the dangerous work to do and the stuff that businesses couldn't keep employees because it was so boring and mundane. Let the software handle all that stuff. So Marla and I are talking to people. We're like really talking and strategizing and working with our clients instead of doing all the crap work.
I
Our
love
people
it.
don't even have to do the crap work. They're constantly getting re-educated to keep doing more.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love it, Marla.
Yeah, I think, it's like when you are ready, if you don't already have a team, get like I remember, years back, the first person that I hired on board, I remember having such a like an apprehension. I was so nervous about it. And honestly, after you do it and you get that person trained, you think, how did I ever not have that person to support me? Because it allows you to grow your business. And so I can't say enough about it. And then you just set up notifications. The system can notify you or that person of every single step that your clients make, or that you need to be involved in, or even that they need to be involved. Your assistant needs to be involved in. So bring in people. Don't be afraid.
I
It's good.
I love it. So as we kind of close out this master class, can we talk one more time about what they would get if they jump into the 297 trial? I know there's some links in the description. A ton of you are commenting and just in engaging with this. Help us understand what they would get. I know, Melissa, you mentioned that you're going to provide access to a community, snapshots, collaterals. What are all the goodies that they would get if they just pull the trigger today?
well, they're going to get the full snapshot, which includes the pipeline, the course, the couple
Form survey.
forms. I did a certificate. You just go in and change it so that once your people graduate, if you want to give a certificate for graduating onboarding, you can. Workflow,
Are you
everything you need.
sharing a browser or because we're looking at
Oh, sorry. I get sidetracked.
all good, all
What was
good.
I
I
going
just
to
want
look
to
at?
make
Oh,
sure.
so here's our high level hangout. The owl represents wisdom, intuition, independence, good luck, change, transformation, and self-actualization. We want you to come here and start. Now, we just really launched this. We're just getting it going for you guys. We've got a couple people in here, mostly us at this point, but we want this to become a place where you can come and we'll have announcements. We'll have different content. If you're a business owner and you bought HighLevel, or if you're an agency owner and you bought HighLevel. Agency owners, it's a different word. We're reselling HighLevel. Business owners aren't necessarily reselling HighLevel. Some of them might, but some of them don't. And so often we're working with business owners. We just, Marla's team just finished up a big solar company from soup to nuts, automated their sales and marketing. And so they're not going to resell. So it's just them using it. We've got HighLevel help. We're going to remind you, we're just going to keep adding to this. And this is where I'm going to put the snapshot, and you're going to be able to download the snapshot and the handouts and such once you get in here. We've got the learning. If you want to get done with you help, we have our Sherpa program. We have Sherpa Dave. You want to climb a mountain, you get a Sherpa to help you, because that Sherpa's done it a million times before. Dave is our Sherpa, and he works through a 6 sessions with you to first define what you want to build, then map it out, then go in and build it, then launch it. And he guides you along the way. So he's not doing it for you because you want to learn. And so he will help you. If you want to do that, you can. Here's our members leaderboard. Not much is happening here yet, but we really want you to come join us. We want to learn how to build this community and how to work the community, and what we need to ask you guys for in the way of more features and everything. So that's really how we're going to bring it all together.
I love it. So you're launching a community around this whole masterclass and ecosystem and kind of getting the ball rolling. So it's a great opportunity.
Learn it. There's no better way to learn it than to do it.
Yep, absolutely. Marla, were you going to add something?
No, I would, well, I guess just that, yeah, we welcome people to come into the community, and it's really, I want it to be a place where we can create, talk about strategies, right? And it's not a how do I get tech support community. It's how do I build my business? What are the strategies around being able to deploy it for my business or for my agency? And so that's where you can come and really talk about strategy. And so Melissa and I love that big picture type of dialogue. And so I think that's a great place for us to be able to do it and give back to the community. So that's what we're looking to do.
I love it. And there's going to be a link in the description if you're watching for the $297 30-day trial, and that'll get affiliated to Marla as well as Melissa and their business, HL Rocket, and they're in the early stages of launching the community. So jump in. I know both of them.
We don't know it all. We don't know until we get in there and start playing with it. I think too often, and I'm guilty of this, overthinking it. Sometimes you just got to do it. I know when I started, Marla, you were a little different that way, but when I started, I went to my networking group and I said to, I think we had 17 founding sisters, because it was a women's networking group. And I said, guys, I'm learning this software. I'm going to be a week ahead of you, but let's all learn it together, because I'm like the worst fibber in the world. So I just believe in just being honest and going, I don't know, but I think this is going to be really wild. And I still have clients that have been with me from day one, from that original 17, quite a few of them, because we weren't trying to be something we weren't. We're just saying, hey, we're doing this and you want to come along.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead, Marla.
Yeah, the community is brand new. We literally are doing this for this masterclass so that people can jump in. There's a lot of people in the HighLevel community who have not built their own community, and we're just going to build it together. And it's a place to dialogue and share ideas, and it's non-judgmental. So come one, come all.
I love it. Well, you guys that have just spent some time watching the HighLevel Masterclass around Streamlined Onboarding Process. We just want to say thank you. There are links underneath the comments. Take a look at it. Reach out to Melissa and Marla if you have any questions around the community, how you can join and things like that. But obviously, the first question they're going to ask you is, do you have a HighLevel account? If not, jump in as quick as you can. But we appreciate all your time. We'll see you on the next segment. Bye for now.
Bye.